Well, the events of the last couple of days in cities like Bangalore have shocked many people around the country. Many of them, of course, like we saw in that report, saying that they're not going to go back. But we spoke earlier with Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, the Biocon India Limited, also someone, of course, who's one of the most well-known people from the city of Bangalore. Kiran, thanks very much for joining us. India's information and technology capital is how we've known Bangalore. We've celebrated its cosmopolitan nature. Then we see the kind of anxiety we've seen this past week. There has been a failure undoubtedly, but who would you blame? Where do you see this failure as having taken place?
Well, I think basically we are not prepared for these kind of, eventualities, because I think as a country, as a state, we are never in a state of preparedness when you have these kind of racist or communal issues to deal with. I think Bangalore and Karnataka has always been a very, welcoming state. It's been a very peace-loving state. We've always believed that we are a very cosmopolitan state and a city. And I think when this kind of, incident took place, it really took us unawares. I think having said that, I think the government did swing into action. I think the chief minister, the police and everyone tried whatever they could to kind of swing into action. But I think it was a state of unpreparedness that kind of, delayed the whole process. So I think we need to, as a country, make sure that we are prepared for these kind of communal conflicts.
Right.
It makes me very sad because, on one side we boast about unity and diversity, and on the other hand we seem to become so intolerant and almost racist. In fact, this kind of racism is even worse than what we really talk about when it happens to us in other parts of the world. Being racist against your own people, I think, is the worst kind of racism.
Right, you make an important point that perhaps we were caught unawares. Also, the fact that we celebrate our unity in diversity, we celebrate the fact that we are multicultural, multi-religious. But many would say, Kiran, that this is the reality of India in the 21st century, that from Assam to Mumbai and Bangalore and beyond, people feel that they are strangers in their own land. Do you believe we are even addressing this issue?
Yeah, I think it's very sad, and I think we must as a people come together very fast. In fact, I myself have been reassuring a lot of people from the Northeast, saying, look, we are all with you. Don't listen to rumors. Don't panic and don't feel threatened, because I think we are all in it together.
Right.
And, at least I was able to convince quite a few young people not to flee Bangalore. But, how much can I do? I think everyone needs to do their bit.
Absolutely. We all need to do our bit, contribute to sort of calming this sense of alienation that seems to have this country. Well, also, Kiran, one last question before we let you go. There, of course, people from the Northeast, are such an integral part of who we are, such an integral part of all across India, really. They are our colleagues. You see them, like other youngsters in call centers, in sort of hotels, all over the place, really, as students in our top universities. You said that you've done your bit to try and assuage those fears, but for those who are watching you tonight and still unsure, anxious, their parents very concerned about their safety, what would you say?
I would just say to them, look, we are all with you. The people of Karnataka, the people of Bangalore, we are in solidarity. We feel for these people and why they feel so threatened and vulnerable. But I think we are all in it together. Today it's the Northeast. Tomorrow it will be another community, and so on and so forth. I think we all have to stick together. I think society has to become far more united, far more, what shall I say, harmonious in sort of retaliating to these kind of very, very unfortunate and unwarranted kind of circumstances.
And perhaps time to learn lessons. Of course, the whole issue of how political color just makes issues so much more complicated. But thanks, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, for taking out the time to speak to us. there. Well, let's start to move on. Now, the special guest, Jahanu Barua, award-winning director from Assam, also Shruti Ranjan Sen, who's joining us from here in Delhi. Shruti, of course, has been tracking all the goings on as far as just who was behind this mischief is concerned. Shruti, before I come to you, Mr. Barua, racism a reality, of course, for so many of us in this country. We felt it. There is this insider-outsider sentiment. 65 years after independence, do you believe now that it's stronger in the last couple of weeks, this whole sense of alienation, than it's been?
Look, for the first time, I mean, first of all, let me say what I feel about it.
Go ahead.
I'm not a politician. But even then, I smell a lot of politics in it, in the whole issue. Very dirty and anti-national. And all of us, we know that, this is nothing new in our country. It has been happening quite regularly in our country. And the victim is that, the fact is that, victims are always the common innocent people.
Right.
And in such a situation, as citizens, what we expect? We expect our governments to, expose these culprits.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.